What happens in the Commerce Department will be of special interest to the people of Alaska. Hard times there. The state has suffered because of vacillations in the crude oil markets of the world. When prices were high, so was Alaskan optimism. NBC's Don Oliver reports on how optimism has fallen along with the prices.
In Anchorage, property values are down 21%. These signs appear on nearly every residential street. Whole buildings are unoccupied. The state's boom has gone bust. 10 years ago this summer, the Alaska Pipeline began pumping oil from Prudhoe Bay, and that started money pumping into the state's economy. Alaska went on a spending spree. From oil royalties, the government spent more than $26 billion, much of it for airports, buildings, and other construction. The last major project is just being completed, a $60 million performing arts center in Anchorage. Now the government may not have the money to operate it.
We built some things that we didn't need and some things that were outright foolish. But in the meantime, a lot was taken care of that had gone begging for years and years.
Private enterprise also put up buildings as fast as the banks could lend money to finance them. Now the buildings are empty, and several banks in danger of failing.
In hindsight, it was ridiculous, and I look at some of our credits now and I wonder how anybody could have ever approved them.
The Alaska unemployment rate is 11%, but that doesn't tell the story. 23,000 workers and their families have left the state since 1985.
The real indicator of that is going around the garage sales this weekend. You're seeing a lot of things for sale that you would not normally see. People are selling off everything and trying to get enough money together to leave the state.
Come on, sir.
Gus Goudreau has been out of work much of the past year. His pregnant wife, Meg, has been the main support of the family of three. They are giving up on Alaska.
It's just something that I've accepted. It's the downstroke of the economy that's forcing me to go.
Despite the hard times, the legislature has refused to cut the handouts Alaskans get that other states don't offer. The elderly still receive $250 each every month just for living a long time. And there are still the annual dividend checks for every state resident. This year, more than $700 when they are issued in the fall. But many people couldn't wait. They lined up outside a pawn shop last spring to sell rights to their dividend checks for $275.
At least my kids will at least have a roof over their head.
Yeah. Many Alaskans believe the solution to their woes is to tap a new oil field, and they have one in mind. In the far northeast corner of Alaska, they want to open up the Arctic National Wildlife Refuge, a place that may contain billions of barrels of oil. But that may be easier said than done. Environmentalists are mobilizing to protect this last wilderness and head off another Alaskan oil binge. Don Oliver, NBC News, Kaktovik, Alaska.
In a recent report on Alaskan oil development, we identified an open pit as having been left by Chevron Oil. Well, in fact, Chevron had nothing to do with the pit and is restoring its well site to its natural state. We regret the error.